I'm Sharon. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Let's press on to pages 80 and 81 in the Grade 5 Discovering Music Theory workbook, and we're looking at exercise 3 of the music in context questions. And here again we have another extract of piano music, but now we have a violin part added to that. So we've now got piano and violin here. So the violin is the solo and this is just a simple piano accompaniment. And we've got some questions to answer, and we'll keep referring back to that little extract of music. So our first job is to compare the violin part, so this top line of bars 7 to 8, and then tick one of these statements to say which of these is properly 2 octaves lower regardless of the clef change. So let's look at the violin part of bars 7 to 8. So here we're quite high up in the treble clef, and so if we're coming 2 octaves lower, this is B, 1 octave lower is here, and then 2 octaves lower will be the B below middle C. So we're looking for B below, next door, below middle C. And so let's see what we've got here. And so if that's middle C in the alto clef, this is B, and then everything follows accordingly. So that's correct, that's 2 octaves lower. So here in the tenor clef, if that's middle C, this is B below middle C, and so we're exactly where we need to be again, and everything follows accordingly. So that's correct, 2 octaves lower. And then here, if this is middle C in the bass clef, one below that is here, so that's correct. This again is 2 octaves lower. So actually all of these, and then it follows on correctly, all of these are correct. So A, B and C are all correctly written, 2 octaves lower, just changing the clefs. Moving on. Is it true or is it false that the tempo is faster? Should it be faster than allegro? Well, let's see what it says here. Now, andantino is a slightly odd one because it can sometimes, it usually means slightly faster than andante. Bear in mind, andante is at a sort of a steady walking pace, a medium walking pace. It could also mean slightly slower than andante. However, whichever way, it's a bit of an ambiguous term, isn't it? But composers use it differently. It's usually slightly faster. However, either way you look at it, it certainly isn't faster than allegro. Either way, it's slower than allegro, because even if it's slightly faster than andante, it certainly isn't more than allegro. Allegro is fast, and so faster than fast would be very fast, wouldn't it? So, you know, either way we look at it, that's incorrect, that's false. Is it true or false that the violin part begins, the violinist begins with 3 down bows? So let's have a look what's going on here. So this is a bit tricky for those of us who aren't violin players. However, this is an up bow, this is a down bow. We've just got to do a bit of revision to remember this, and so we have down bow, down bow, down bow, and the composer would put that to give extra emphasis to these notes here, and we want particular articulation, so down bow gives a stronger sound. Either way, we know that that's true, 3 down bows. Is it true or is it false that the right-hand part of the piano in bar 7 is entirely major thirds? So let's have a think about that. So bar 7, the right-hand part. So it's this section here. And so at a quick glance we can see that it's definitely all thirds. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whether it's line to line or space to space, we know that's thirds. But the tricky part comes, are they major thirds? So we have G to B, that's major. A to C sharp, that's major. C sharp to E is not, that's minor. C to E would be major, but because of the key signature, so that's incorrect. So we can already say that's not correct, but let's just finish the bar. We have B to D, and that also is a minor third because B to D sharp is major. And so we know that that's false. Although the thirds, only the first two are major thirds. Is it true that the left-hand piano part contains acciaccaturas? And this is where we have a kind of a main melody note or something like that with this crushed note, this grace note that has a line through it, not to be confused with the appoggiatura, which doesn't have the line through it. We don't want that one, we want this one. So can we see those in the left-hand piano part? And here we are, there's one there, there's one there. So already we can just say yes, quite a lot actually. It's a bit of a feature of the left-hand part. So most definitely, yes it does, that's true. Is it true or is it false that the highest note in the violin part is G? The violin plays in the treble clef, and so we're looking for a high G. We got an F, so here we are getting quite high here, but this note is, now if we're not sure in reading this clef, we know the treble clef is every good boy deserves football. F, G, A, counting line, space, line, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So that's an E. Do we go higher than 3 ledger lines? That's still the E. In actual fact, this is now down a step, that's a D. And so the highest note is actually an E. I think you would be correct if you'd got your clefs wrong and were reading that in bass clef. That would be the G above middle C. However, we're in the treble clef, and so that's high E, and so that's incorrect. So which instrument is best suited to play the violin part so we can play at the same pitch? So the horn, although it does play in the treble clef, it doesn't go as high as the violin, really. It sort of gets lost once it starts to get kind of, well, this is the absolute extreme of the range. Of course, it depends upon the ability of the player, but we don't want the player to be at the extreme of their pitch the whole time. I think really that's as high as it goes. Around here is more comfortable. So I think that's not a best suited because it doesn't quite get high enough. The bassoon is a bass instrument, so that's no good. The flute is our best option, I think, because cello is also a bass clef instrument, whereas the flute and the violin play very similar ranges, and they're both quite comfortable high up in the treble clef. And now, how many times does the submediant note in D major appear in the violin part? So let's think what the submediant is. That's the 6th degree of the scale. It's really interesting why that is. So perhaps we'll have further discussion on the technical names of the scale. That might warrant a bit more interesting information, but for now we just need to remember that it's the 6th degree of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we're in D major, counting from D, D, E, F, G, A, B. Of course that would be an F sharp, but your key signature will deal with that. The 6th degree of the scale is the submediant. So how many times do we see a note B? Let's have a look. So we're looking in the violin part. So there's no note B there. It can be any octave. There's a B. That's one. There's another one, an octave higher. There's another one in that same high octave. And there's another one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 note Bs. Now we have these sentences to complete. There are upper mordants in bar. So which bar? So we're looking for sort of the wiggly line that shows the mordant ornament. That's an upper mordant. Remember, a lower mordant would have a line through it. So bar 8 answers that. And is it true or is it false that there's an augmented fourth? Oh no, not true, false, sorry. Silly me, we're supposed to be finding it. There definitely is. Let's find it. So where is there an augmented fourth? So we're looking vaguely for a fourth. That's a third. That's a fourth, but that's A to D is a perfect fourth. We're looking for an augmented. C sharp to F sharp's perfect. That's a fifth. That's too big. That's a third. So B, C, D, E. That's a perfect fourth, so that won't do. So here's our augmented fourth. We know that G to C, 1, we always count the lowest note, remember, regardless of what order it comes in. So G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4. However, it's to C sharp because of your key signature. So G to C natural will be perfect. G to C sharp is augmented. So there it is in bar 9. And that's completed that exercise 3 of Music in Context. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.